Hi everyone. Okay, so um today I emailed Ian Scarth, who is counsel for the Manitoba College of Social Workers panel, um, asking when a decision was going to be made in regards to if an order is going to be issued or if this whole thing is going to be dismissed. I also put in an offer to settle. And we'll talk about that more later on. For Health Science Center, um, particularly a social worker there and the nurses, who, again, I will get into later on in the week. I've got a full lineup of things I want to discuss this week, and so every evening I'm going to be talking about something. Um, Today it's going to be the offer to settle and how the Manitoba College of Social Workers panel and possibly the Manitoba College of Social Workers itself is violating the Social Work Professions Act by delaying proceedings. Um, so, yesterday we saw, or sorry, on Friday, sorry, I'm getting my days mixed up. I apologize. On Thursday, we went over a letter from Ian Scarth, or a email from Ian Scarth, where um, that he forwarded on to me from the Manitoba College of Social Workers and the panel, and um, in that email chain, Barbara Turman, again, I apologize if I mispronounced that. She writes on January 23rd at 1:26 p.m. Hi, Corey. Can you please provide an update on the progress of the final decision of the panel? Now, keep in mind the hearings happened prior to November. Actually, I think the last hearing happened in July, August, something like that. Um, in any event, it's been over 90 days and well into the new year, and now I'm still waiting. Now, this is affecting my career, it's affecting my livelihood, it's affecting my means to provide for myself. Um, all of which, and bill payments. And um in the next few days we'll talk about how it's also affecting who ultimately it's affecting. It's affecting me directly, but it's indirectly affecting a lot of other companies and people, because I've got bills I have to pay that I just haven't been able to. Um, and we'll talk about the hardships that these delays are causing. Now, um, the Manitoba professional, sorry, the the social work professional, the Social Work Professions Act, sorry, um, indicates that. Hang on a second here. I'm just going to scroll to it. So, just because I have it up on the screen right now, I'm also going to point out how it says um, notice of meetings, notice of time and place of each meeting, referred in subsection 5 must be given to members in accordance with the bylaws. Public meetings. The college must permit members of the public to attend meetings of the college and board, except where it considers a private meeting is necessary in order to consider matters of a confidential nature or matters of a personal nature concerning an individual. Make its bylaws available to the public and hold public meetings at times to determine by the board to explain the role of the college and to invite public comment. That never happened. Any of that. So that's one part of it that they breached. The other part is the decision. And I'm just going to scroll down here because I know it's here somewhere. I was reading it. Okay, here it talks about when a private hearing may be held. When a request is made under subsection 2, the panel may make an order excluding the public from a hearing or any part of it, or directing that a member, the complainant, or a witness be identified only by initials if the panel is satisfied that the matter involves public security, might be disclosed, and it goes on further. But the part I want to point out is the panel may make an order excluding the public, but an order to exclude the public was never issued. So the public should have been involved in this, and that never actually transpired. Um, okay, here we go. The decision of the panel. Okay, here we go. Um, 54.1 indicates, see where it says written decision? It says, within 90 days after the completion of a hearing, the panel must make a written decision on the matter consisting of reasons for its decision and a statement of any order made by the panel. Now, they did issue a written decision. However, they did not indicate what the outcome was going to be, whether an order was going to be made or whether the matter was going to be dismissed. It literally has been in limbo for the last 2 months. Now, these proceedings have now been over 2 years. So, what I'm going to be doing tonight is I'm going to be writing to the Canadian Association of Social Workers to basically say, the Manitoba College of Social Workers brought these proceedings against me, but they themselves are not adhering to the legislation that governs these hearings. Not only that, but they refuse to settle this matter. They keep delaying the matter, which is impacting my employability. It is impacting my well-being. And um, um, I would like to say a few other things, but I will keep this um, I will keep this video civil. I won't say anything negative else. Well, anything negative other than what is fact. And the fact remains that they are um, they are deliberately deciding to ignore legislation. This is bullying. This is harassment, and it's not acceptable. And I'm very disappointed that the Manitoba College of Social Workers has decided to take this route. It is the reason I will be reaching out to the Canadian Association of Social Workers to voice a formal complaint against the Manitoba College of Social Workers. And I will be outlining why I'm disappointed and how uh, the impact it is having and how legislation is being breached. Again, I will also be emailing the Federation of Law Societies with this, and I will probably also be reaching out to the United Nations as well, because I do have an outstanding complaint with them in regards to all this. As I mentioned, I believe this is just another piece of political persecution, but we'll talk more about that later. Okay, so that concludes that part. Now, I want to talk about the offer to settle. Now, I wrote to Ian Scarth today, which again, I didn't receive a response, but I did. I did indicate that I'm willing to make an offer to settle. This offer to settle will only be valid for 24 hours. So, um, this is what I am proposing. I am willing to take down my posts only where it pertains to Health Science Center or the Manitoba College of Social Workers. But this is in exchange for my membership being reinstated in good standing, because I haven't done anything wrong. All I've done is utilize my Canadian rights to freedom of speech. They must agree that no costs will be awarded against me, and no further actions will be taken against me by the Manitoba College of Social Worker in any matter. Now, that third point, I understand that if I choose to practice in Manitoba again, then of course that will be open to them pursuing any sort of matter in the future for future matters, meaning nothing from this point in the past. However, I don't plan on practicing in Manitoba. I want my membership reinstated just to make it easy for me to transfer it to another province without all the without having to go through um, a bunch of criteria and roadblocks and all this other stuff. So that is what I want. I want my membership reinstated in good standing. I want no cost awarded against me and no further actions taken against me by the Manitoba College of Social Workers in any matter. Should the Manitoba College of Social Workers reject my offer? That is totally up to them. This is an offer to settle. It's not. It's not. Uh, it's an offer to settle. But they should know that me speaking out is my Canadian right. I will not change. I will not sacrifice my Canadian. I will not sacrifice my Canadian rights to freedom of speech just to be a social worker. If it's a choice between giving up my freedoms or being a social worker, I'll give up being a social worker. Being a social worker is a job. It's not giving up who I am. Being a social worker is only a fraction of who I am. And I can work in the social work field in a different capacity if I have to. I don't need a title to be who I am, but I need to be able to express myself. I need to be able to have an opinion. I need to be able to um, have my beliefs um, without being persecuted for them. And that's exactly what I feel the Manitoba College of Social Workers is doing. I'm speaking out against something that happened to me, to my family. And for that, I'm getting persecuted by the Manitoba College of Social Workers because they did not like what I had to say. They did not like the fact that I was calling, I was, um, I was saying what happened when my daughter was in the hospital. Something that should not have even something that they should not have even got involved in. So, and then I go on to, or then also we're going to talk about the lineup. So tomorrow, tomorrow I'm going to talk about the letter that I'm writing to, or by that point have by that point did write to the Canadian Association of Social Workers. Um, and we're also going to talk about um, the Manitoba, the response from the Manitoba Law Society, and having a discussion about Heather Manchester. I believe the last name is Manchester. I've got to double check my notes. But she's a social worker at Health Science Center. And we're going to talk about the complaint that I made with the Manitoba College of Social Workers against her and the documents that I provided to the Manitoba College of Social Workers and the response I got from them. The reason I'm bringing this forward is up until now, I chose not to, other than to mention on how I made a complaint and it was not even, it didn't seem like it was even investigated. Considering that with this complaint, they didn't hire an investigator. They didn't talk to all the parties involved. But for the complaint against me, where the complaint literally was um, an a vindictive nurse writing one line to the Manitoba College of Social Workers on a complaint form. From that one line, the Manitoba College of Social Workers hired an investigator, started a 2-year long procedure of harassment, um, of hearings, of meetings, and still is this is ongoing. Where my complaint, it was dismissed within a matter of months. And by matter of months, I mean, I think it was the last week of January, it might have been the first week of February that I submitted the complaint. It was dismissed in April, the same year. Now, the complaint against me was submitted again around the same time frame as the one I submitted against Heather Manchester. Only thing is, it's still outgoing. And that is now 2 years later. So that is what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. Anyways, you guys have a good night, and we will talk again tomorrow. Have a good one.